Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member, Mary Baker, and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate. Hello to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara, and you are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Here, myself, and with Melissa, even though that made no sense.
Were you going to say here, myself, and I?
Me, myself, and I, along with Melissa.
Along with Melissa.
Yeah. And Melissa is always here, and thank you so much for you and Kristen Howlett, one of our full-time real estate agents here at Boston Connect, who filled in for me last week. We didn't say I was going to call in. I was going to tell everybody Mark had emergency surgery, so that's the way to end a year. And you know what? We got that behind us, so 2023 is going to be awesome. But I've been writing 2024.
I've been writing 2019 for the past 4 years, so we had this discussion earlier. Yeah, I don't know.
If you're getting a check from Boston Connect, you might want to check the date on it for sure. Yeah. So Mark ended up having emergency surgery last week. He had his appendix out. Which, you know, hey, I'm sort of happy that, I hate to say that that's all it was, because it was sort of, you know, it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
You know. It wasn't me.
Why are you laughing at me? Mark's in the other room, by the way, so you can hear.
I know. He's just shaking his head. Yeah, but that's why I wasn't here last week. But he is doing fantastic. So we just wanted to let everybody know that. So for those who did know and were sending thoughts, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, but Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of excited. Like I came into 2023 really being excited. Mark and I do our annual trip into the city for a night or two, and it was wonderful. And all of the agents at Boston Connect, you guys all gave us a wonderful gift this year for the Omni, and we used that at the Omni Seaport this year.
Yeah.
And ended our year really nice. So thank you for that. And you and Mary gave us a wonderful gift card for Christmas to Fogo de Chao, where we had dinner. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So, it was good. It was a really wonderful way to sort of end the year, just nice and relaxed. We went and saw our comedian and everything. And then when we woke up the next day, it was like beautiful, sunny. I took a picture, put it on Instagram. It's a little bit filtered, but it looked so beautiful. It was really, really, I could have used the original photo, and it was really, really pretty.
Good.
Of the Charles River. So I'm looking forward to 2023. How about you?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I have my new little notebook there.
Oh, yes, yes.
Organized my new little Louis Vuitton notebook that I got from Sharon for Christmas. So I'm very excited about that. I got that all organized. But
nice.
Yeah, I had a good New Year. Spent it with some friends, and I actually was given tickets to the Patriots game on Sunday.
Yeah,
so
that's nice.
My friend and I were 10th row from the 20-yard line.
Wow.
We have no idea. The whole time we're like, we're not worthy of these seats. Like we were not worthy, but we had a really great time. So
that's awesome.
It was a good way to start the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And my family, we all had lentil soup because that's our tradition. I thought that you would be popping over, but then I knew that you were at the game, so forgiven. You better get some Progresso lentil soup in you, though.
Yeah, I needed some soup.
Mary was with Jasmine up in Maine, and they sent me pictures of them eating their lentil soup. So that's a tradition in our house. So that's what we did. Hey, George, how about you? How was your holiday and the New Year?
Oh, it was very low key, but who's complaining? But the New Year, though, we went to Boston for first night, myself and my brother, and it was pretty good. It was raining really bad, but I was wishing it was drier. There's always next year,
Yeah, absolutely. And they had a couple ice sculptures. I saw those. And
but they melted by the time I went there.
Yeah, they were all melting when I was there. I could see one was I don't even know who it was, but it was an arm, and I was like, oh, his arm's about to fall off.
I couldn't make out
the sculpture or somebody.
The sculpture. Yeah.
I couldn't make out what they were by the time I visited.
Very warm.
It was really, really warm. So
the designer and me felt bad that they had spent all that time carving out the ice, and they could have put them in a big freezer if it was even possible.
They did do that, They did have them in freezers and brought them out that morning. So New Year's Eve morning, they brought them out. But I said they should just have like walk-in freezers, like just set up, like it's just all glass.
Exactly.
Sort of, you know what I mean? And you can just look at them.
Would you do that though? Like, would you walk through?
No,
like
I wouldn't walk
through.
No. I would from the outside, all glass on the
transparent.
outside.
Yeah. Okay. But I would think that the glass would get all frosty and you can't see them.
No,
heat them up.
Yeah, they would find a way. Like, do you go to the store and buy ice cream? It's amazing how that can be a freezer with a glass door.
But think about all, like, when you open it and then you close it again, it gets all frosted and you can't see.
Yeah, I know, but no one would be opening it. All right, we're digressing big time here. So to all of our WATD listeners, we hope that you had a wonderful holiday season and that you started off 2023 on a good note. I do want to say, I mean, I watch football occasionally. I'm not a huge football fan, but for some reason, this whole situation with Damar Hamlin has really gotten to my soul. And he's a 24-year-old baby, is what I'm thinking of him as, and probably because my kids are just a couple years older. And of course, we have a lot of agents and family members who play football, and honestly, heartfelt feelings and thoughts and prayers are going to him, his family, the Bills family, everybody, the Buffalo Bills and everyone. So hopefully it will be okay.
It's interesting because on Sunday I was at the game, and like I said, we were 10 rows from the field. It's the closest I've ever been.
Yeah, I've never been. So
the closest ever. And I literally turned to my friend and I was like, oh my gosh, like you can actually see that they're like real people. Like we were so close that when you see things on TV, you think like, okay, it's a game, but then when you're there and you actually see like live humans, so it's definitely it's
sad.
Yeah,
and you could see the emotion on everybody's face and all the players and everything. So it was a really hard thing for them to see and witness and to be a part of. And I commend obviously the NFL for calling the game. I guess it was up to the coaches and the players, and so all good thoughts are going out to Damar Hamlin. So, and hopefully he will be okay and he'll be playing. Maybe he'll even be playing this week against the Patriots. Who knows? Maybe. I doubt it, but whatever. I hope. So anyways, what are we going to be talking about tonight? We're ringing in the new year. We've been thinking about all the different shows we're going to be doing. If you have any ideas or suggestions that you have for the show for us, definitely get in touch with us. You can do that. How, Mel? Real estate at bostonconnect.com.
Yeah, you can do that. You can call us here. I was going to say at the studio, but no, we're at our office, 781-826-8000. Or you can always go to bostonconnect.com and find all of our contact information there.
Yeah. Or you could call right now. George will pipe you through and give us some ideas. Or if you just want to say hello and what you have going on for the new year, that would be great. We have an idea of a topic, but we're happy to talk to you. 781-837-4900.
I thought you were going to say we have an idea of what's going on. I don't know. We'll see how tonight goes. But you actually came up with this. So every year, sort of to end the year or even begin the year, we sort of talk about our bold predictions and our, the year-end recap and stuff. And we sort of started that discussion last week, Kristen and I. But today, you wanted to talk about the importance of hiring a real estate professional in 2023. So I think that you wanted to talk about this because the market that we're in and what we're going into is you definitely need a professional, correct?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll admit that I know that a lot of people the past couple of years have said, what do I need a real estate agent for? What are they actually doing? And there's so many things that we do behind the scenes that if you're not in a transaction and you don't have an agent that is communicating with you all the time, like I'll find myself all guilty of it. Like we're doing a lot of things in the back end that our clients aren't even aware of that we're doing. It can be hard to sort of say, well, why am I going to spend, give that much money for compensation as a commission to somebody when I could just put a sign out on my front doorstep? Mm-hmm. And that may be true that you could do that. I think you get what you pay for. And yes, there could have been potentially, you could have had the opportunity in this reckless market that we've had in the, at the beginning of 2022. Oops, I just lost my pen. In the beginning of 2022 and it was in 2021 as well. Yeah, you could probably just put the sign out there and things would go along. But there's so many processes that happen that you really have to know what you're doing in order for that to go smoothly. So with a lot of headache, yeah, you certainly could have done that. But one of the things that was interesting with a lot of the articles that I was reading is that 70% of the agents, and this is according to Lawrence Young, he's my boyfriend. He is the chief economist for NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. We were listening to him in December, and he said 70% of the current realtors that are out in the industry right now have never been through a declined market or a more difficult market or a sluggish market. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of what do I do's, right?
Yeah. I'm just going back to like when I even first started with you. So like almost 7 years ago now, I remember having to call sellers and begging them, like, can we please do an open house this weekend? Can we please do an open house? Mm-hmm. And they're just like, no, I don't. Like I remember getting no's and just being like, no, I think, if somebody wants to buy it, they'll come along. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we're so totally not there anymore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that obviously everybody knows that the inventory is low, but the demand for homes is still high.
Exactly. And that is, we're still going to see that trend, through the beginning of this year and at the end of the year, throughout the year. And a lot of the emphasis, obviously everybody has heard this because we've said it on our show, a lot of it had to do with the rising interest rates. So that sort of made a lot of the buyers sort of nervous. And then the sellers weren't getting as much as they were hoping for. Some of them were sort of waiting out the market to get to the top. You never know when you're at the top until you see it coming down. Mm-hmm. So, and then I think now there's a lot of sellers who are like, oh, it looks like I missed it, so I'm not going to bother. But I know that interest rates, they're saying, will be going down again. But the problem is the interest rates are pretty reasonable even now. Yeah. It's just that what we had was so just unrealistic to even have them that low.
Well, even if when they were in like the sevens a couple months ago, like there's so many different loan programs that like if you have a loan officer again who is a professional and does this all the time and has a lot of different programs to choose from and sort of help you navigate through, you can get a low interest rate based off of whatever program you go through. You can get a low monthly payment because at the end of the day, after closing, if you can't afford the mortgage,
you shouldn't be buying the house. Yeah. And I think what ended up happening, and again, if you want to have any discussion about this topic, please give us a call. I mean, we haven't talked to you in a while. So 781-837-4900. George is at the studio in Marshfield. We're in our home studio here in Pembroke Center at Boston Connect Real Estate, which is the sponsor for our show, along with my team, McNamara Broker Team, or Sharon and Mary Team, or I don't even know what we are anymore, but us. So feel free to give us a call, 781-837-4900. And we're talking about the reason why you will need a professional in this coming year if you're thinking about buying or selling a house. It goes both ways, by the way, because even if you're buying a house, you want a professional that's standing back next to you that understands what happens in a declined market, right? So it has shifted to be a little bit more a buyer's market at this point. right?
Yeah, I think that we've talked about this a couple of times recently, is like we've seen a lot of price adjustments, and that might have been like, wishful thinking, or whenever it is, somebody did the CMA for that property, that might have been the price that they could have gotten then, but it would have been 6 months ago or whatever the timeline would have been. However, there's a lot of buyers out there that aren't going to settle.
Yeah.
This is sort of what they've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And if they're in a position where maybe they're renting month to month, or they're living with family or something, and they have time on their hands, they have time on their side, it's less likely for them to like give away everything that they own to get
and they don't have to settle. You know what I mean? They're in a position where they don't have to. And then, of course, we did our show, a few weeks ago when we talked about, the D's of real estate with, there's death, divorce, disability, those types of things. Those people are definitely having to move. And those, the people who are on the fence of, do I put my house on the market or not? You definitely should, because there are always those people out there.
Yeah.
You want to be one of less inventory versus one of more inventory. And guess what? That first weekend in February is right around the corner when the Patriots play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So the Super Bowl, and that's when we say that, the spring market actually starts. So that's why we're suggesting you definitely want to get in touch with a professional now if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, because you want to be sooner than later on that. The other thing that I found extremely interesting when I was doing some research for today's show was, the cream always rises to the top, right? So that's the professional. Those are the agents who are going to know how to withstand any type of market, any type of questions that come up. And especially too, for newer agents, if they're being mentored and things like that, I think that that's helpful as well if they're working with someone who's been through it. But one of the other interesting things that Lawrence Young said in that webinar that we watched was that we can expect more releases in 2023.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's interesting because at the end of 2022, in our small office, we have 34 agents here. In our small office, we saw several.
Yeah.
1 week we had 5 releases.
Yeah, I would say, probably we had 5 in December, which is a lot. I know 5 in the grand scheme of everything that we sold is not a lot, but 5 in a short amount of time is sort of indicating that there is a shift in the market.
Yes.
Because how many, I do the releases for the company, so I'm just thinking like even, 2020 and 2021, I might have done 5 all year.
Yeah, I know.
But to have 5 in 1 month, it wasn't uncommon before.
Yeah.
In the market before 2020 and 2021, but right now it might be the shift that we see.
And that's why you want to have a professional, because one of the things that they were saying is the reason for more releases is because the agent isn't familiar with certain things. I'm not saying that was because of our agents, but I don't know who our agents were working with on the other side. But I do know one of them basically got released, and we had both sides of that transaction in our office. So one of our agents had a listing, and one of the other agents had the buyer. And the reason why it fell apart is because of advice that the buyer got from people at work, that they heard it wasn't a good time to buy a house, which got the buyer really nervous. And I remember, because that was part of the conversation with that person, saying, I just really want to go through everything with you, because he was giving up that Mass Dreams program. He got the house at a reasonable price, no competition, because it was sort of off market type thing. But he was listening to the advice of others. So we can't do anything about that.
Yeah, and I think the sort of introduction of some of these contingencies are also a factor in releases. So it's people are doing home inspections again. People are doing,
Stop right there. So does your agent, you want to make sure that your agent knows how to negotiate for a home inspection. I just want to pop that in there. Give me another one.
Yeah.
I got you all trained off.
I know. You're like,
no,
startled me a little bit.
No, I was excited because I liked that, where you were going with that.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking of like under other contingencies. So like a home sale contingency, we're seeing more home sale contingencies. So if it's a domino effect. If one falls, the next one falls. Unless you're able to sort of catch it before it falls completely.
Yeah. And on that point, you're making such great points. I'm just going to reiterate the reason why you need a professional in those circumstances. For that situation with home sale contingencies, it's really, really important that your agent is very aware of and is capable of negotiating timelines. Because if you put your house on the market and it's contingent upon you finding suitable housing, or if you've already found your house but it's contingent upon you selling your other house, you definitely want to make sure that your professional agent knows how to manage those dates so you don't lose any of your deposits.
Yeah. I would say an appraisal contingency. We're seeing, I haven't in a long time seen like the appraisal gaps.
Yeah.
Remember when we were seeing those, like, oh, if it doesn't appraise, we'll cover $20,000, of that. We're like, I don't think we're seeing a lot of that anymore.
The reason is because a lot of people are not going over asking anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why they don't have to. That was your point just a little bit ago, right?
Yeah.
Buyers don't have to, take the shirt off their back in order to get the house.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fairly confident that if a property is priced right, it'll sell no matter what. I think that you're not going to eat crackers. She wants to eat crackers on air, and all of you will have to listen to the crunching sound.
I won't do it, but they do look good.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so if it's priced accordingly, it will sell. And like I like to say, there's a bum for every seat. There's a buyer for every house. I just told that to one of our agents today. She's putting on an antique in Bridgewater tomorrow.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
Actually, I do want to interrupt you. I keep on interrupting you, but you're coming up.
Go right ahead.
But you're coming up with all the ideas that are prompting me to, say some pretty good stuff. Well, I think it's pretty good stuff. But I was up in my office today, and it's nice, you got the hustle and bustle of agents coming in and out of the office again now that the holidays are over, and we have all the decorations away. It looks completely naked in this office.
I
It's
literally
weird.
was like, oh, should I go downstairs and like get things from storage? Like, this is so weird in here. Like, it doesn't look like anyone lives here anymore.
I know. I'll fix it. Don't you worry. But Kristen was here. So Kristen Howlett, who did the show with you last week and is very common to our show to be a co-host here. She has a new listing coming on in Bridgewater, a beautiful antique. She's super excited about it, but she asked me to sit with her today to look at numbers, and she wants to make sure that they're getting the most. She doesn't want to underprice it. She doesn't want to overprice it. So there we are with, our 30 years of experience combined, basically, going through all these numbers. And, having an antique, you have a very intricate demographic that will probably love it. I mean, the location is perfect. You can walk to, right next to the library, walkability to like the schools and everything like that. She had all these great ideas. And then I heard her on the phone, and I was upstairs, and I was like, I wrote it in my notes. You have to have an agent who can think outside the box in times of uncertainty. You want to go with the people who are certain, the person who is on fire, to think outside the box and to make things different, and not just say, well, you didn't have any showings, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I've said this to some of our agents, is like, they'll say, oh, well, the house has this. It's near the, the library or the train tracks, or it's on a main road. Okay. Well, your seller didn't mind when they bought it. Don't you think another buyer will come along and not mind? Like, again, there's a bum for every seat. So,
and there really is. And that is,
it might not be a big deal to people.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd live on a main road. I don't have children. I don't have a dog. I don't have, whatever. It's fine by me.
Main roads don't bother me. I mean, I grew up on Dorchester Ave and Columbia Road, so there you go. I mean, it couldn't get much busier than that. So I guess it's where you're coming from, right? With the street thing. But I was so proud of Kristen today because, this property is in Bridgewater, and she thought, oh, this would be a perfect house for maybe, again, we're not trying to steer, we're not doing anything to do with fair housing. anything like that. We're just trying to think, who would this be a great house for? And she was thinking maybe one of the professors at Bridgewater State College or University, that would be a perfect house, perfect location for maybe, administration or someone there.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great idea, and I heard her on the horn. That's the phone.
I heard her on the horn.
But when I said that, all I could think of for some reason was the Flintstones, when he had that big white horn thing. That
I don't remember that.
I don't remember. But no, I heard her on the phone. She called the university and said, can you help me get in touch with the right person who might know, this could potentially be a great house for somebody that either works there or something like that.
Yeah, that's
right?
nice. Yeah.
So she did that today, and they connected her with the off-campus housing.
Wow. Yeah.
Great idea, Kristen.
Yeah.
So
that is true, because I know, so I went to Florida Southern, and then I went to Bridgewater State. And when I was going, before I even started class there is a website, and it's all like sort of vetted through the school, but it's all off-campus housing and sort of checked out, and making sure like, okay, this is a real, and this is real, whatever. So if she could get on that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's maybe the university would want to purchase the house and have it for off-campus housing.
Yeah.
I'm sure
$10 million.
Yeah,
that's the number we came up with.
That was the price we thought would be perfect for this house. So, but again, if you are interested in a beautiful renovated antique home in Bridgewater, definitely give Kristen Howlett a phone. Call her. You can call us at the office. And I think she's Kristen at BostonConnect.com.
Yep, Kristen at BostonConnect.com.
So again, Kristen Howlett, she's a full-time real estate agent. She was in here today.
All day,
doing her thing. She moves around the office every so often.
Yeah.
Like I saw her downstairs.
She was in the basement.
She was in the recliner.
In
the recliner.
She had her computer on there. She was working on her, her thing.
Yeah.
So, she forwarded me all the photos today, and it's just
they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So again, I'm going to repeat what I had said. In times of uncertainty, you certainly want somebody who is certain, or certainly knows how to manipulate, not even really manipulate, but handle the ups and downs of whatever this market is going to bring us. Unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know which way it's going. The good news for me is I've been doing this for 21 years, so I've seen quite a few ups, downs, sidewayses.
What, sideways is something?
Yeah, sideways is.
Just something to note on that is, like, think about how important it was, like, even for her to come in here. Like, not to, like, toot our horns, but, like,
but
let's do that. Like, being a part of a team, being, like, we can be virtual, okay? But we're not a virtual company. We thrive off of being with each other. So, and we think of all 30 plus agents that we have here as one big team. And sort of we encourage our agents to come in and sort of have these discussions with us, because we're always here, and other agents are always here. I know Aaron was in here this morning when Kristen first got here, and people pop in and out. Michelle was here.
It's interesting too, because I know we're sort of going off a sidetrack here, just talking about Boston Connect Real Estate, but that's one thing is I'm saying to all of our WATD listeners and all of our friends out on Facebook is I am so confident in the agents that we have that I know that they can navigate any type of situation that comes up in this market, whatever way it goes, that they'll be able to navigate it. But I know an agent who recently joined us. I won't say her name because it's, because of what I'm going to say next, but she's a great agent. And she's been on the show and everything. And I was texting with her just a couple days ago about something. And we were talking about training and the different things. And what you were saying is sitting in the office is when you learn the most. Here I am with 21 years of experience. But there's also agents who are here with, a couple of years of experience, but they are still maybe learning. They're doing something that maybe I never came across. But this agent said to me, I have learned more in the short time I have been with your office than over the 2 to 3 years that she was with another company.
Yeah.
And I thought that's because our agents are so open to talking to each other and helping each other out with all of the situations.
Well, I said this to her. I said this to another agent that recently joined. Every agent that joins us, I always say, like, just come into the office. If you're consistent with what you do, you have no choice but to learn.
Yeah. And this is my little tidbit, because I started working on this upstairs, and I'm going to send it out to all our agents and do one-on-ones with everybody, just for, goal setting and things like that for 2023 is, and I chose not to do it at the end of last year because I feel like everybody was just hectically ending the year and all that. But
yeah, because somehow it crept up real fast.
it really did. Yeah, it really did. But, you don't want to run away from accountability. You want to run towards it if you want to be successful. So that's my little tidbit for everybody in the world. It has nothing to do with just agents, but isn't that a good one? Mm-hmm. If you want to be successful and you want true success, do not run from accountability. Run to it. So there you go. We can end the show right there. Go ahead, George. End it. No.
We still have some time.
One of the other things, too, is, a lot of times people don't want to really, they feel like they're giving up their money and when you're giving an agent compensation and commission and you're not seeing what they were working for, you will certainly see your agents working this year. There are a lot of agents who got into the business the past couple of years because things seemed easier. And it was, for the most part. I mean, there was still a lot of things that you need to know how to do and do the right way, but it was a lot easier. But those agents are not going to be familiar with what's coming up in this next market. So I worry a bit about those agents. I mean, some of our agents who have been with us for a few years, I know, one of the agents, she got a new listing, and like that first weekend, she was like, oh my God, like I didn't get any offers. Yeah. It's like, yep. Well, that's bring a book next week, because that's what we used to do. But you have to stop thinking about it as I'm giving up my money. I'd love to have this compensation conversation with somebody out there who's really against, real estate agents. It is our job. And if you're hiring somebody full time, and again, what did we see in the past couple of years? And again, everybody has to do what is best for them. I'm just letting you know, for someone who's been in this a very long time, like even tomorrow, I'm going to a CE class from 8 to 8 tomorrow. I'm always learning, always doing something, right? But I forget where I was going with that.
Real estate agents, compensation.
Oh, yeah, with the compensation. It isn't, it's surprising, because I did have a conversation actually with one of my sales in December, and I was like, at the end of the day, this is what I truly ended up with. And they were very surprised by it, I mean, you have your split with your company, if you're on a team, you split with your team, you have the expenses. Expenses are more now than they were probably in the past, because of everything that you have to do with booths and social media and all that stuff. But they have statistics that show that, and this was by Realtor.com, is that you will still make more money. So the 2021, this is 2021, so the other 2022 numbers aren't out yet. The typical for sale by owner home sold, so this is nationwide, for $260,000 compared to $318 for agent assisted homes. So that's $58,000 more when you're listed with a real estate agent, that you'll potentially gain. So that in this situation with a $260,000 house to a $318, that's the compensation plus more.
Yeah.
So you end up with more at the end of the day, and guess what? A lot more money and a lot less headaches.
Yeah.
But I think that the times of, my cousin's friend got her license, so I have to use her. Those types of conversations, I would just be leery of doing that. Or I'm going to say it. I am really nervous for part-time agents right now that are working a full-time job, because I feel like people are going to have to be on their toes at their job, working 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, because of the way the economy is. I mean, you don't want a chance losing that job.
Yeah. No.
All right. Go ahead. You talk.
No, I'm literally listening to you and staring at those crackers.
I licked the top one.
No, don't say that.
I did. I licked the top one, so don't touch it. Okay, you can have those ones under there.
No, I agree. I mean, I think that no matter what, I mean, this is, and we talk about this. I know this is sort of off topic a little bit, but we have this discussion with agents who want to join our office. We always ask, like, is this something that you do full time? Because that's important to us.
Yeah.
It's important that our agents, give it their all and give it, and
well, because
with their,
and I'm going to agree with sellers right now is you are paying a really significant amount when you look at it. You are paying that fee for the services. You certainly want someone who is doing in everything that they possibly can to get your home sold in a more difficult time when things are not going as quickly. And especially when it comes to pricing, you don't want to hire somebody who just says, okay, what do you want to price it at? It's like, well, where do you think it should be priced at? And then you come to terms with what that number is. But don't just always go with the person who says it's the highest, because that isn't how it works.
Yeah. And you should know, you should ask how they got to that highest price. You should ask how anybody got to any price. And you do, I've said this a million times, you do a really great job of showing sellers how you get to your price in your market analysis.
I love doing CMAs. I'm going to be doing a training. I'm going to do another updated training in the office too, because the numbers are the numbers, and that's where
they
it
don't
is.
lie.
They don't lie, and buyers can see them now. So
yeah,
that's why it's so different. I can see that Julia. So Julia,
I think that's from last year. I mean, last week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was from last week.
Okay. Well, she told me she was doing some stats.
Oh, okay. So I don't have them, 'cause those are the only ones. So
yeah. So it looks like Plymouth County single families active properties on the market. In 2021, there was 241. In 2022, there's 460.
What?
Yeah, that's what she's saying right there in Plymouth County. So that means that houses are staying on the market longer, right?
Yeah, well,
so
we've said that we've seen a lot of price adjustments. I at least saw a lot of price adjustments last year.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I just don't want to talk about these numbers because I just don't know exactly where she got the data from. I should have talked to her beforehand.
Yeah.
But Suffolk County, she said, active properties on the market, 2022, 126 versus last year there were 81. So there are more houses on the market, apparently, according to Julia, than there was last year. But that only tells you that buyers are not.
Well, we have to stop saying last year because it's a new year.
Oh, yeah. In 2021.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It's 2019, according to me.
In 2024.
In 2024, according to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had those last week, so I think it might have been for the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, you need somebody who knows how to get all this information, because I don't necessarily think that a lot of sellers know how to get this data and know how to sort of get the sort of equation is what I'm looking for that we use to get a sale price. And again, you do a really great job of explaining that. So maybe they'll take your information and then hopefully not kick rocks.
Yeah, I know. And that is the thing is I think that, our job is to fully, educate our clients on what is going on in the market. And I think that that's where, the true professionals sort of stand out, is because we do know how much the house on your street sold for. We do know, the different situations about all that. And that's really important too when you're talking to appraisers too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of other people other than a real estate agent, it's also important to hire professionals in the real estate world. So not just real estate agents, but a real estate attorney, an attorney that does this for a living, somebody who knows the ins and outs of what it is to sell a house. It's not just, my mother's cousin's nephew's dog's adoptive parents our attorneys who live in Indiana.
Yeah, or I have my divorce attorney is going to do it.
Yeah.
No offense to divorce attorneys, but they're very, very defensive when it comes to, real estate and doing that whole process.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll have lots of good stories out of my class tomorrow. So I'm going to see my friend Charlie Burke at Mass Academy of Real Estate tomorrow. Mark and I are going to do our CE class tomorrow with him, which is always fun. And he has the best stories. So I'm sure I'll come out of there with some really good ones.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we're going to be doing next week in our office is the way that we stay up to date and sort of current on different scenarios of what can go wrong with I think you can't make what's wrong better if you don't know what the wrongs are, right? So you can't look out for it the next time. We're going to be doing a panel discussion. We like to do this every year at our office, and we ask, 3 or 4 of our agents to sort of take one of their take one of their situations, buyer or seller, from the 2022, and what I learned from this transaction. So that's so important to do, because again, we're talking about what could happen if you hear the stories and you hear how it ended. And I like when we always say, what could have we done differently, or what could have we done better? That's just going to help us with our next ones.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you have any questions for us, feel free to call us again, 781-837-4900, or you can reach out to us on Facebook. We are live on Facebook right now. So you can go to Sharon Costa McNamara, or you can go to any of our Connect pages and find us, like Pembroke Connect, Marshfield Connect, a couple others.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got? Anything?
I was just looking at our list of other professionals. So we have mortgage lenders. So, and it's, we always are talking with our agents. Okay, who are you using right now? What, and I'm sure it'll come up next week when we have that discussion with what we learned last year in our transactions. And, we will talk about, okay, this person was excellent. They were great. They were on top of everything. They're very responsive. They were very helpful with my clients. They, sort of strategized with them. Do you think that this loan program would be better? Well, what's your goal? And stuff like that. And then there will be discussions where it'll be, this one needs improvement.
Absolutely. Or don't use this one. I'll come right out and say, don't use this one. So
I was trying to be polite.
I know, but I'm not. If I think that they're terrible, I'm certainly not going to use them. And I'm going to tell everyone in our office not to use them, which I think sometimes people think I'm a little too tough, but I have high expectations for my clients, right? One of the things that I was thinking about is sort of this... it's funny because my career has changed from like first-time home buyers and, to now where Mary is working mostly with our first-time home buyers. And I'm sort of in this new demographic. It's not new. I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm really enjoying and loving the experience of working with the boomer sort of generation, or even the boomer generation who just lost like a family member, or they're selling their mom and dad's house. They don't know what to do. They just lost their spouse. Do I stay in my house? Do I sell my house? So we had a lot of that this year. And I'm just recalling sitting in the room recently with a client, and it was 2 sisters, and we had their third sister on. I think that's the fish tank.
Yeah, we suddenly heard something weird. It's the fish tank downstairs. They're getting fed their dinner.
Yep. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting in the conference room, and they weren't familiar with what exactly had to be done. And we had the 2 sisters in there with me, and then one sister on the phone. Sorry, I'm choking. And it was, do you know how I can get a dumpster? And then like they start writing notes. I'll try to get a dumpster there, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to send you my dumpster guy. So I send over the dumpster guy, text it right in front of her. And she's like, oh, that's great. And then I'm like, well, why don't she's like, I'm only here for a few more days. Do you think they'll be able to get the dumpster there, in the next couple days? And I was like, let me call him. So I called him, and I was like, hey, is there any chance that you can, I have a client that's going to be calling you. Can you get the dumpster there? She's only here for a few days. He's like, you know what? I have a little blank in my calendar this afternoon. I'll get it over there this afternoon.
Wow, I didn't know that that's how it happened.
Yeah. we literally were sitting in the conference room, and anything and everything that they said that they wanted or needed, I was like, let me just make the phone call right now. And that was the feedback that I got from them, was that they were so impressed with the people that I knew and the people I was able to connect them with in a very short period of time that helped them in this process. So I think that that's really important too, because I've been in the industry so long. I do know, the people to call. And honestly, the vendors that that I'm aligned with, I'm so fortunate and so grateful that they treat my clients like top notch. They're just awesome group of people.
Yeah, I mean, you and everyone pretty much here works with the best.
Yeah.
We always say we have the best of the best, but we also know the best of the best.
Yeah.
And we work with the best of the best. So, we're very fortunate.
I wonder if they say the same thing about us.
Oh, I wonder.
I know. Well, Saturday, we are going to be here having our show. We'll be live again Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, so 10 to 11. It will be myself and Melissa. And we're also going to have a guest. I don't know his last name, but I know he's the new owner of Imperial Home Inspections.
Yeah. His name's Mark.
And his name is Mark, yep. So he's the new owner of Imperial Inspection Services. Our good friend, Steve Cook, was the owner for years and years, and we've had him on our show multiple times. And I recently saw Mark at a home inspection, and I asked him if he would like to be on in the new year. So he will be with us on Saturday. So certainly, tune in on Saturday from 10 to 11, talking about home inspections, because there's a lot of things that have changed in that sort of arena as well when it comes to, and I think a big part of it is negotiating.
Yeah.
You can negotiate again.
Yeah. There's so many different inspections you can do too, So if it's private water, you want to do a well test. If you have a basement that you're going to finish, or it is finished, or whatever, you can do a radon test. There's what's the air quality, like the mold, air quality tests you can do. There's just so many different things, especially what they offer. So
so I'm excited to see Mark.
Mark will be here.
Mark from Imperial Inspection Services, because they do so much, not just home inspections. So that's why I always get that wrong. So tune in then. And again, in the meantime, if you have any questions or any topic ideas for us for the new year, we're going to be getting together. Myself and Melissa are going to be getting together with Mary, and I say that questioningly, with Mary. We love Mary. She's just not here tonight. And Julia, and we're going to come up with a full agenda of great ideas and topics for this year. Like a 1031 exchange, and
we have like 100 shows for the rest of the year that we have to fill. I'm thinking twice a week.
No,
you just had a panic attack.
I did. So we need 100 topics. If you could just help us with that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, if you could just help us, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I mean, we always say this: hire a professional. I mean, why wouldn't you? But why wouldn't you? Can you name one thing that you wouldn't hire a professional for?
No, I mean, it's so funny because, when you're looking to do something in your house, you always want to hire a professional.
Yeah.
So that's our takeaway for today is when you are thinking about buying or selling a house, we always think that you should be using a professional. And you know what? It isn't always about buying and selling a house. If you just need advice, really good advice, and really solid advice about the real estate market, give us a call. My team would love to help you. My name is Sharon McNamara. I am the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. You can catch us at 781-826-8000 or
BostonConnect.com.
Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you live Saturday, 10 to 11. Bye, George. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you, too. Bye, Sharon.
Bye-bye.